Hey guys, Matt here at the Brewery. Happy Homebrew Wednesday. This Homebrew Wednesday is brought to you by Nate Pico's Homebrew. This is the Not Gumblehead Amarillo American Wheat. Comes in at 6.3%. I've heard of this beer. I've never had it before, the Gumblehead American Wheat. I think it's supposed to be just a nice clean wheat beer with like a lemony finish is what I've read. Like I said, I've never had it before. It's from Three Floyds Brewing, I believe, if I didn't already say that. But yeah, let's go ahead and crack into it. Got a couple of updates, so I'll try not to make this video go crazily long here. Got my Ass Clown glass for this. All right. Look at that. Yeah. I don't know what the genuine one looks like, but this follows that description. Very nice, clean, clear looking wheat beer. A lot of times when you get a wheat beer, it's a lot of them have a lot of cloudiness to them. Nothing wrong with it being clear. Looks beautiful. It's got a nice finger head on the top of there. Nice tight bubbles on it. It's a nice sort of frothy white head on it. So he used Amarillo in this. I don't know what the difference is between that and maybe this is his version of that beer. But I think the Amarillo is supposed to it's supposed to be like a stronger version of Cascade in the sense that it has a lot of the same tropical floral notes. I've only ever used Amarillo once before, and I think it had more of a pronounced orange. Out of all the citrus notes, it had more of a pronounced orange aroma and flavor to it. So this one, you definitely get some of that, I think, in this. You definitely get some of that floral notes to it, some citrus. I might be picking up a hint of orange. It's not as pronounced as I thought it might be, but it's wonderful, man. Very, very, very awesome looking beer there, Nate. Let's go ahead and try it out. Cheers. Nice, man. Yeah, I definitely get a little bit of the orange in the taste, but I am getting more of that lemon on the finish, which I guess that's what he was going for. That's what that beer is described to be. It's supposed to have a nice lemony finish to it. Nailed it, man. Like I said, I've never had the original Gumball, so I don't know how this compares, but I'd say you did a pretty bang up job on this, man. Nice beer. Thank you for sharing. I always love getting beer miles from you, Nate. You produce some award-winning beers here, man. Yeah, that's awesome. I'll go ahead and enjoy the rest of that here in a minute. So for the updates this week, this is a sample I just pulled probably 15-20 minutes ago, I guess, from the primary. When I do my lagers these days, I usually like to try to do the Brewlosophy method of fast lagering just to get it moving along fairly quickly, so I can get into the lagering stage sooner than later. Because I've noticed that whether you're ramping the temperature or not, or if you're just going right for it, I've personally not noticed the difference when you do it this way. Normally what I do is I let it attenuate down to about half of the way through. So in this case, it was a 1072 beer. It's supposed to get down, I think, into the 1010 range. It's now at 1044, according to the hydrometer. So that's pretty close to halfway. 1040 would probably be halfway for that. So here in probably another hour or two, I'll probably go ahead and start ramping up the temperature. So it has been fermenting at 55 degrees. And rather than stepping up the temperature as I used to do, I'm just going to set it to 68 in the ferment chamber and let it slowly rise up through the night to 68. This way we can let it finish off fermenting at that warmer temperature. drive off any of the off, things, all the sulfur and all the off scents and flavors from the beer, and let it, finalize probably Sunday, Monday time period. It should be terminal. I'll check it again, and then I'll go ahead and cold crash it and then start the lagering process. Yeah, so I just figured I'd take a sample and see what this was coming out to be. Of course, it's probably going to be still fairly sweet, being 1044, but I do like to see, especially when I'm doing this sort of thing, I do like to see where it's going. So it's got, it does have a really nice malt backbone to this beer as we put it together. And it's actually got a bit of a pretzel-y smell to it. That's quite interesting. Yeah, that's going to come out good. It's still got quite a lot of sweetness in it, of course, but you can definitely taste a lot of that really good, rich malt character in that, and very little on the hops, which is exactly what we're going for. It's a malt-forward beer, being a Marzen, and so that's what we wanted to achieve there. But the other thing that happened that I'll talk about here. So the brew day, I'm still going to be editing and putting together that footage. I'll hopefully get that out to you guys by the end of the week. But I didn't have a problem with the panel itself, but I had another issue, a little hiccup. What would a brew day be without a hiccup? If it goes smooth and sailing without any issues, then you start to wonder what happened that you didn't. There's always something that goes wrong, so you kind of wonder what happened that that you might have missed, I guess. I always question those brew days. It's like, what did I do? It went too good. Like, where's the problem at? But in this case, I had a problem with the temp probe in the HLT, and I didn't know it at first. Gary kind of, we were sort of troubleshooting together, and he's like, hey, why don't you check the temperature of your HLT? Because one thing I did is I had my mash order set correctly. I had the, it's raining out there pretty hard, so I can hear it on the garage door. Temperature was going, everything was fine. Mash was right on 148. Everything was fine, except it started to raise. And I couldn't figure out why the mash temperature was raising. I went into the other room, came back, and it was 155. I'm like, what? How's that possible? This thing is a really accurate rig, and I've never had any issues with it. Everything was still reading 148 on the panel. And sure enough, I took my my thermopen and I double checked all the vessels, and sure enough, the HLT was reading 161 or 160. What was it? 161 or 162 or something, I forget. But in any event, it was like 10 to 11 degrees off of what it should have been, and that's what it was attributing to this. So what I ended up doing, and I'm going to show you what I did, is I offset my PID to match up for that 10 degree or 11 degree difference. And the rest of the brew day after that went smoothly. I plan on replacing that probe. I'm going to go ahead and order probably two, just so I can have one as a backup. I might just roll with this. If it stays consistent, I might just roll with it for a while and leave the offset, because it still works. It's just off by 10 degrees. But I don't know. It's kind of a sign that maybe it's on its way out. And I really don't want to be in the middle of a brew day and have another problem again, one that I can't control. So that wouldn't be good. Although if I get to that stage, the nice thing about these Auber PIDs is you can set them, however you like. So I could, instead of doing an automatic temperature setting, I could just set it to 50%, 40%, whatever, to maintain whatever temperature I need it to be. It would be very manual. So if I got to that stage in my brew day where it was giving me a problem again, I had to go to a manual mode, I could do it. It would be a lot of babysitting. But those probes are only like $20, $25. I think some of the more expensive ones are probably closer to 30. Not a lot of money, so I might just replace it. But here, I'll show you guys what I did. Okay, so I like to keep the breaker off when I'm not using it, but it's a 30 amp GFCI in there for the panel. That way I don't have to worry about any power being on the panel when I'm not using it. There's no sense in leaving it on if I'm not actually using it. But let me show you quickly here what I did. So on the hot liquor tank, in the menu for this Auber PID, it's got a ton of options in here. and there is an option in here for an offset. So SN, for example, is the probe type that I have, and then it is PB, which I forget what PB actually stands for, but this is the offset. So I set it to 11, and that made it be accurate. So as you can see, even with it being set to 11, the hot liquor tank is 77. That kettle is actually the one that's by the door, so that usually is a couple degrees warmer at ambient temperature than the rest. So as you can see, it seems to be still pretty consistent. So that's how I fixed that and got me through the brew day. But yeah, that's my excitement for the week. Hopefully next brew day will be less eventful. Like I said, I welcome those hiccups. It kind of keeps us learning in the process, learning about the equipment, keeps us on our feet, and it just makes if nothing else, it makes the brew day interesting, right? Had a great time brewing with Gary. I got a lot of footage to go through. We had a Zoom meeting going, so I'm going to put all that together, hopefully by the end of this week, and publish that so you guys can check it out. Like I said, a lot of fun. Love doing those collaborations. Looking forward to doing the collaboration with Wally. Hopefully pretty soon, because we're planning on doing a pumpkin beer, and this way we'll have it ready for the pumpkin season. So that'll be nice. I already got all my ingredients. I'm ready to go. We're just waiting on you, Wally. Let me know when you're ready to brew. That's all I have for you guys this week. Nate, thank you very much for sharing this. This is a real treat. I like this. It's a very nice, easy drinker for 6.3%, and it's a really nice citrusy beer. Yeah, it's got a nice, when you drink it, it's got that sort of nice citrusy, floral, and like orangey taste to it. And then right at the end, it's got that lemon, which sounds like it's pretty straight on to what the original was. So I'll have to try to track that beer down. We have a place that's up the road from us. I don't know if they're open yet after COVID, but it's a really neat place that it's like half bar, half store. And the store side, they have like hundreds of different kinds of beers. A lot of stuff that you can't find in a typical store around here. So that's really neat. They might sell that. I'll have to find out. They sell some off-the-wall stuff that's not from this area. So I wouldn't be surprised if I can find that, and then I'll be curious to see what the difference is. But anyway, thank you, Nate, again. Awesome beer. Very nice. I'll see you guys on the next video. Have a happy Homebrew Wednesday, everybody. Take care. Have a good night.